You expect to be aware of your own head in the same way as you're aware of other people's heads. But that wouldn't be true of you, because you've got an inside view on your head. You have an outside view on other people's heads, because, of course, you're taking an inside point of view. But the way in which you are aware of your head is in terms of what you are seeing and hearing. Because all sights and all sounds are what the nerves inside your head are doing. That's how to be aware of one's head. You are aware, therefore, of yourself, the mysterious self that you have, in terms of experience. Because there isn't really any difference.
Americans celebrated Independence Day this year in the most perilous state since the Civil War, uncertain if our divided house can still stand. But beneath the terrifying screams of violence, riots, and political hysteria, a still, small voice could be heard, the unprecedented voice of Q.
But that always escapes people, you see. So perpetually, so long as you don't understand that, you can be talked into going on to all kinds of weird excursions. And just so long as you believe it, you're a sucker. You're hooked. And it takes a tremendous inner confidence and nerve finally to say, hey, don't pull that stunt on me anymore. I see through your game.
Got an article here from the American Thinker. As the crisis deepens, Q says, "Rise or Die," by Deborah Franklin. Q's growing community of followers believe that Q is a military intelligence operation, the first of its kind, whose goal is to provide the public with secret information. Q, they believe, is a new weapon in the name of information warfare, bypassing a hostile media and corrupt government to communicate directly with the people. Despite hundreds of hostile attacks in the mainstream press, Q's influence is expanding, with multiple candidates for Congress expressing support. Recently, to the disgust of Forbes, Eric Trump tweeted an American flag with a Q on it, and Q's signature slogan, "Where we go one, we go all."
Clever at putting you down, but they're just trying to see how strong you are, testing you out, see if they can hoodwink you. So long as they can, you see, they're going to go on doing it, because they're going to get you to the point where they can't do it to you anymore. Then they'll graduate. And so one of Rinzai's students, after he saw through it, said, well, there wasn't much in Rinzai's Buddhism after all. Of course there wasn't. He said boldly and straight out, my teaching is just like using an empty fist to deceive a child.
More critical and most crucially, President Trump himself has repeatedly drawn attention to Q through his tweets and his ads. Yet the press refuses to ask him about it. Not one question directly to him. They are very scared, and we know the reason. The recent arrest of Ghislaine Maxwell, the confidant of late Jeffrey Epstein, may initiate a new phase of what Q calls the Great Awakening. We always said, once the world finds out about all these pedophiles, that's when the real party begins. Assuming that Maxwell stays alive long enough, the public may finally learn some of the deepest deep state secrets of the cult, the long-entrenched global crime syndicate that operated with impunity until President Trump's election.
You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
What is called not existing is quite incapable of being there without the contrast of something called existing. It's like the crest and the trough of a wave. You can't have a wave that is all trough and no crest, just as you can't have a wave which is all crest and no trough. Such a thing has never been manifested in the physical universe. They go together. And that is the secret. There really is no other secret than that.
Q has directed our attention to the mysterious temple on Epstein's Island, a topic which the media just totally avoids. Underneath the temple may be a series of dungeons in which very powerful people performed very sickening rituals on innocent victims. Q has posted all kinds of images from what appears to be security cameras in the dungeon's chambers and layers that suggest some kind of coordinated activity. The visits from all the politicians and entertainment industry, the media, and just high society, finance, business, science people who have visited the island is very, very disturbing. Now, all these very powerful people that have visited the island don't want to be exposed and can be expected to furiously fight all efforts to bring them to justice. Q is warned that it is going to be biblical as the panicked elite deploy every last asset to unleash terror onto the public, derail the election, and regain their tyrannical stranglehold over the world.
You see through the game.
You gotta fight, 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 Trump says. Keep your voice loud. To counter their scorched earth tactics, Q recently conscripted volunteers to serve as digital soldiers. Scores of the Q followers have taken Q's requested oath on video and through a posted signed document. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of invasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I'm about to enter. So help me God. And where we go one, we go all.
I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God. Where we go one, we go.
You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
On the 4th of July, General Michael Flynn gave Q followers a huge morale boost when he led a group of ceremonial digital soldiers reciting his exact oath. You can see this here on the screen.
Foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely,
That I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully
And that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office on which I am about to enter.
of the office on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Where we go one, we go all.
Where we go one, we go
God
all.
bless America.
God bless America.
And I can say, as all of us volunteer digital soldiers swarm across the social media with the red pill truth bombs, the media is losing its dictatorial grip on the public's belief system. Of all of the weapons in the lying mainstream media's cult's arsenal, the most highly prized may be its control of the mass media, through which it can propagandize and bamboozle the public. The cult has never before had to contend with the legions of citizens winning battles in the information warfare. The next few weeks and months leading to the election may be turbulent beyond anything we've yet experienced in our lifetime. Q has repeatedly asked us to put on the full armor of God as we battle with an enemy without mercy. This world war looks different than previous wars because the enemy uses infiltration, not invasion. But their decades-long strategies have allowed them to take control of almost every institution and sabotage the people's ability to respond. Already, Q maintains the enemy has coordinated with China to maximize the harmful impact of the lab-created COVID virus. Q directs our attention to the monumentous state of the date of January 15th, 2020. When a historic trade deal with China was signed in with China and then lost billions via the clawback. Also on that date, the impeachment articles, which had already been deliberately withheld, as we all remember, were delivered to the Senate, and the first case of the COVID-19 landed straight in the United States at the Seattle Tacoma International Airport. Do the Chinese like losing? Writes Q. Do the Chinese want POTUS removed/replaced prior to the election of 2020? Do the Chinese want Biden installed post-election 2020? Is this about the virus or the election? The only way Q believes the enemy can win the election is through massive fraud enabled by mail-in ballots. Therefore, the turmoil must be kept going in order to shut down person-in-person voting. Democratic governors force COVID patients into nursing homes to quickly increase the death count. Think about that. And justify the devastating lockdown. Think about that. The medical establishment coordinated with politicians to demonize hydroxychloroquine and forbid its usage, despite its effectiveness at early treatment of the COVID and its 70-year-old safety record of using it in the real world. The lockdown decimated the economy, which had been one of Trump's greatest achievements to date. It set the stage for pent-up youth to release their frustrations with coordinated riots that escaped and scarred people from venturing outside. And it directed media attention away from the Obamagate scandal of an illegal coup against the presidency and the many questions surrounding Biden's deals in the Ukraine and China, along with his son, Hunter. War. The future of our republic is at stake. Survival as a nation. We rise or we die, we the people, warns Q. Fortunately, Q empowered us with the winning tactic to serve as digital soldiers against the media's lying machine. By sharing this video, you can be a digital soldier too. And as Q says, welcome to the digital battlefield. Together we will win. I encourage you to find Q at the qmap.pub, qanon.pub, qproofs.com, #TakeTheOath. Hashtag digital soldiers. Hashtag where we go one, we go all. WWG1WGA. Again, I am Michael. This is the Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you. And where we go one, we go all. Again, we are heavily shadow banned and demonetized since the very beginning of the COVID, so we rely on all of your support. The links are down below. Please, please, please share this video across all social media platforms. We are nearing 200,000 subscribers in just under 3 years. February of 18, we launched the Patriot Hour. We love all of you Patriots, and we thank you for every bit of everything you do. You know who you are. Thank you.